All right, questions from me?
Did you think you were going to have to pay or have a chance to pay off your bet? Beginning when you made the bet, did you think you were going to be the one that would have to pay it off?
Obviously. I mean, I think I didn't want to make the bet and go into it thinking like, man, I hope this kid doesn't get 2,000 yards rushing. I really hope he doesn't do this. I wanted him with my whole heart to break however many yards he got, and really help whatever I can to do to get him there.
1 second.
Zoom out a little bit, Alex.
Zoom out. Good here. Sorry.
You happy that Ash is going to cover the cost of that thing, or?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of had a guy that I was talking to. I didn't know if he was going to do a deal or anything like that, but at least I know I'm not paying for it now, so that's pretty sweet.
What would it mean for you to have that number be above or at 26, 28? I mean, that's the all-time mark, obviously. So. I
mean, it would be phenomenal. I mean, as offensive linemen, we don't get stats. The only stats we get are negatives. How many sacks you let up, how many games you missed, how many, tackles for loss this guy has against you. But I mean, his stats are our stats, so whatever he gets kind of reflects on us too. I mean, he's a phenomenal player. He does his own thing. He gets majority of his yards himself, but I like to think that we help a lot too.
Why was it the tattoo for you? Like, why was that the thing? And why are you cool? I mean, I know you got some already or whatever, but like, why was that the thing that you were like, okay, this is what I'll do?
Well, yeah, like you said, I love tattoos. I got quite a few. I'm just trying to get more, and I think being able to be a part of something that's this historic, what's the word? Just putting it on myself for the rest of my life, I think something I'm going to be proud of and tell my grandkids whenever I see them.
Is it just going to be the number? Is it going to be him hurdling over the number? I mean, what have you thought about the design?
Yeah, so I'm just going to get a number, however many yards he gets, and then his signature right below it.
You're back. You've been back, what, 2 games you've played?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
How do you feel both rested but in sharpness, and where do you think you are right now?
I feel solid. Missing football for that long, obviously, is going to take a little bit to get back into the swing of everything. But, I mean, I felt like even while I was injured, I was doing my best to stay locked in, stay focused on meetings, and try to learn as much as I can to help those guys learn. So I feel like I'm feeling solid right now for sure.
Been asking a couple of guys this, but I mean, not a lot of people are giving you guys a chance in this game. You're double-digit underdogs. Like, what does that kind of fire you guys up when no one's really giving you a chance?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this place was built off underdogs. I'm sure everybody who's gone before me has said something similar, but I think everybody in this room has the same mentality of this is the next game. It's nothing different. We got to win it.
Well, if disrespectful is the right word, but I mean, you guys feel pretty good about what you've done this year and who you've beaten and your record this year. I mean, are you surprised, I guess, more people aren't giving you a chance? Or?
I mean, doesn't really, kind of cross my mind. I think those guys can have their opinions because opinions are just based off emotions. But, I mean, the facts are the facts. And when we played bigger games this year, we were just right there with them. I mean, Oregon, that's our kind of number one game right now that we go back to because the number one team, undefeated, nobody's beat them. And we were the closest ones to doing so.
Is that Spencer kind of said, like, hey, bring it on, count us out, please? Like, that's what we want. I mean, do you guys kind of embrace that role?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like I said, people are going to have their opinions, and whether it be that they're going to think they're going to dominate us, they're going to see what we got on the 31st. So.
One more, Ash. When did the whole bet come in? Like, and we knew like the dreadlock thing since Mount media days.
Yeah.
But how did the tattoo come into play?
So we were talking about it like earlier in the summer. That was when we first came up with the bet, and then he was kind of talking to me about it, and I was sitting there thinking, like, as I was explaining it to people, and they were like, that doesn't really seem fair. If he gets to 2,000 yards, he has to cut his dreadlocks. So then he came up to me and he was like, we gotta redo this. I was like, all right, let me think about it for a sec. So then I came back to him the next day and I just let him know, like, if you don't get 2,000, you got to cut him. But if you do, I'll get a tattoo of how many yards you get.
Okay, so it's way better.
Yeah.
I thought in Vegas he told me that it was like he'd have to cut him.
Yeah. It was.
Okay, right.
It was really messed up. It was a terrible bet.
So who set that straight then? It was you. You
He came up to me, but then I came up with the idea of what, like fixing it kind of thing.
What stands out about Penn State's front?
They're a phenomenal front. They're big, fast, explosive. They've got great playmakers all over the ball, all over the field on defense. Their D line brings a lot of different challenges, whether it be twists or one-on-one blocks. They're all have their strengths, and whether it be they're going. I don't want to get into the football detail stuff of it, but I mean, they're all phenomenal players for sure.
What can you tell us about Casey?
Awesome kid. He's quiet, really reserved, really still rarely comes out of his shell every once in a while, but when he does, it's awesome. That kid has a crazy work ethic, one like I've never seen. He came in here, he's got 3 shoulder surgeries already, and before he even got here, he had his knee. Being able to come back from all that stuff and playing at the level he is just shows like how dedicated he is to bettering himself, bettering this program. During the summer, I was like seeing him watching film while I was watching film with him, and he would just pull out like food, and he's got like a whole like strict diet plan and everything like that. Like, he's a crazy kid for sure.
I mean, I know you guys all got to deal with the pass rush, but I still feel like the more cliche thing is, the left tackle dealing with the pass rush. So, like, how much do you think? I mean, I know he's competitive. How much do you think he'll be up for this challenge?
Oh, he's always up for it. I mean, he's gonna go out there, do his thing. I know Cagey's gonna be quiet when he does it, but I mean, he's gonna make his plays when he needs to make his plays.
Want to go Zoom? No?
Boostro, what do you got?
Mason, Dirk Cutter was caught talking earlier about kind of how he didn't quite like the rest. You kind of wanted to get into the game, but for you, obviously dealing with this injury, how much has this time off helped you?
I think it's helped me more in my mental aspect. Not being able to physically better myself in football, not being able to physically get those reps, but more being able to watch and understand and see how the other guys in the room kind of see the game. Really broadened my understanding of the game, and seeing how I can explain it to them, how I see it, so I can maybe give them a little bit of a tidbit of knowledge. I think it's been super beneficial.
How's the bicep feeling now?
Feels great. Pretty close. We tested it the other day. It was really close to 100%.
Cool. That's it for Zoom.
Matthew Murray?
What'd you do for with the downtime this last week?
I just went back home. I got to go hang out with my family for a little bit, see my dog again. He went home after the Mountain West Championship game.
What kind of dog you got?
I got an English Bulldog.
Why do you go home or whatever? How's that?
Normally during season, he goes home just because I'm so busy. I can't really have anybody take care of him for me because he's my responsibility. But my parents love him to death, so they take care of him for me.
I know it's kind of simple or whatever, but it just seems like in past times, different coaches might have set a different standard for big games, if you will, or okay, now it's time to do more or whatever. But it just seems like Spencer has fought that, and he's just stuck with the script of what's worked, and that's trusting you guys and autonomy and these things. Like, how much do you think that does work for you guys?
I think it's great. He always tells us how much. I mean, every game is important because it's the next. I mean, and it's so true. It's so difficult to win in college football, and it's a testament to him. It's a testament to all the players seeing our record. I think it's huge. Having someone that's that supportive of us, knowing that we can get the job done is awesome.
Do you feel the energy when you went back home in terms of that you get to go play in the college football playoff, and assuming that everybody knows that? So
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I was kind of like sitting there, and then we went to go watch the new Lion King movie last night, and we were at the theaters, and I was wearing this hat, and someone came up to me and was like, "You play football for Boise State?" I was like, "Yeah, I do." And he was like, "You guys got Penn State on the clock?" I was like, "Yeah, we do." And I was like, "Oh, everybody kind of knows about this, huh?"
Is there a different feel too, like maybe a normal bowl game, you're excited, but it's also just a bowl game, the season's up, like where Maddox said he couldn't wait, he was enjoying his time home, but he couldn't wait to get back too. Like, is there a different feel when it's a playoff game?
Yeah, for sure. It's more on the line, but I mean, win or lose, you're gonna have to go face next year or whatever. I mean, but still, you got to think about the next week, kind of thing.
Is there a different feeling too, like just knowing that if you do win, you get another game, like just the tournament style of this, and it's not just one game?
Yeah, for sure. You know, it kind of clicked for me too when I was watching the games before ours, and it was like, whoa, those guys are playing right now, and we're just kind of getting a little bit of a break. But they're going to be playing the same time we're going to be playing next week. So.
One more, just when it comes, I know they asked a little about time off and recovery and stuff. It probably seems like you have been sprinting to like meet a deadline. And now that you had a couple of weeks where there wasn't a game, were you able to approach like a day a little bit differently, or maybe just like feel like you even breathe a little bit there, where you weren't just like sprinting to meet that deadline of getting back to Oregon State or whatever?
I mean, I never really thought of that like ever, and throughout my whole rehab process, because they kind of really told me I was done. They told me my season was over and I was just going to go about my day and attack it every single day the same day like I can. You know, whether it be showing up for rehab, showing up for meetings, I think you can't really take those days off, especially in the middle of the season when there is such a big game coming up. You can't let your foot off the gas.
What do the docs say about you? You say you're back to 100% or whatever. Like, what's their reaction? You might be like a new example of how this can actually be done, I would assume.
Yeah, I mean, he was just kind of fired up for me. He stands on the sidelines during the game, and he was like, "It's awesome seeing you back." I was like, "Yeah, thanks."